see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the finalist presentation for the Mr. SL 2022 competition. I'm Markus Lefebvre-Enimo, your voice host and DJ today. Your chat host is the lovely Venom Zanzibar, and together we will guide you through this spectacular show. Today, we will experience the finalist presentation in the Mr. SL 2022 competition. We are looking for the perfect gentleman who will represent Miss SL organization, but also that fabulous icon for the fashion community who will inspire us all, not only with his styling ideas, but with his motives, enthusiasm, and engagement. We would like to thank all those who make this unforgettable show possible. Foremost, we thank Takuya Jin from Gabriel Fashion and Accessories for providing us with the land for today's venue. Please allow us to take a moment to let our sponsors and media partners know how grateful we are for their trust and support. Our sponsors and media partner for Mr. SL 2020 are Altered State, the Angel Manor Estate, Chop Suey Couture Jewelry, Die Villa Media Entertainment, Gabriel Fashion and Accessories, Leon Magazine SL, Lucid Region, Move to What Moves You, Models Magazine, Preferred Land, The Grove Country Club Estates, and Vipely, the social network for virtual worlds. We also thank Ash Sloane from Cold Ash for providing the outfits to our finalists today, and Hikaru Animo Lefebvre from SLurl magazine SL for organizing the outfits for the finalists today. We are also grateful for the massive support by Mr. Ramses Meredith from Wipely, the social network for virtual worlds, who together with SLurl magazine SL are the event sponsors of today's finalist presentation. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are presenting to you the official finalists of the Mr. SL 2022 pageant, as we are leading up to the grand finale of this competition on December 11th. The finalists have worked in 3 runway challenges, submitted 1 photo challenge, and have participated in the live interviews to become an official finalist of the pageant today. They will submit a 2nd photo challenge and walk in the 3 traditional runway challenges in the grand finale show, the National Costume Challenge, the popular Victor's Secret Challenge, and the final Formal Outfit Challenge, before we narrow the candidates to a top 5 and top 3 selection, and then we will finally know who will become the winner of the competition, Mr. SL 2022. For this finalist presentation, the finalists were provided with the Alessio trousers and Raphael shirt, both from and sponsored by Cold Ash and organized for the finalists by the SLurl magazine SL management. The finalists were able to combine different colors of the trousers and shirt and were asked to style the given outfit in their individual fashion. As every finalist is very individual in their own way, we are expecting to see the same outfit in various ways styled. In their description, the finalists will explain why they joined the Mr. SL 2022 competition. While every finalist presents their styling, they will get a question asked by one of the present judges. The finalists do not know the questions yet and will have time to formulate their answer until their return for the 2nd part of the show. In the 2nd part of the show, we will learn their answers to the judges' questions. So there's a lot to see, read and hear today, which should become very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to all the outstanding professionals who have the task to evaluate our finalists' inspiration, styling ideas and performance today. Thank you very much for your time today and for your expertise. The members of the judging panel are Alfred James, founder, owner and creator for Helu and Breeze. Bear Star, interior stylist and photography artist for Leon Magazine SL, blogger and stylist. Cerberus Crossing, founder, owner and creator for Cerberus Crossing Creations and Estates, co-owner and co-creator for Naberius, co-owner of Necrotize and The Warehouse Sale, photography artist, stylist and model. Grito Masters Galtier, owner of the Grove Country Club Estates and entrepreneur. Hikaru Enemo Lefebvre, owner, publisher and editor-in-chief for Leon Magazine SL, founder and owner of the Neo Japan SL event, store and blogger manager for Gabriel and Altered State, store manager for Cartel Originals, social media and blogger manager for Eclipse Design, blogger manager for Real Evil Industries since 1975, Finer Threats and Damage Society, social media manager for Varonis, Mr. SL Top Model, photography artist, stylist and blogger. Jacques, photography artist, top model, stylist and blogger. Kronos Darkness, Mr. SL Mexico 2016, first runner-up to Mr. SL 2016, owner and CEO of Audas, participant, runner-up and winner in other pageants, Mr. SL Top Model, photographer, stylist and blogger. Moon Ling, magazine assistant for Leon Magazine SL, designer liaison for the Neo Japan SL event and personal assistant to Hikaru Enemo Lefebvre. Ocean Blackthorn, founder, owner and creator for Bakabu, artist, top model, stylist and blogger. Nida Nirvana, owner of Private Giveaways, public relations manager for Die Villa Media Entertainment. Tadeo Gardner, Mr. SL Top Model, participant and finalist in other pageants, modeling instructor, stylist and blogger. Takuya Jin, owner, CEO and chief designer for Gabriel Fashion and Accessories, founder and owner of the Neo Japan SL event. and Suro, Mr. SL Youngster 2018, Mr. SL Agency Senior Executive Assistant, Mr. SL Top Model, Stylist and Blogger. Before we start, we also want to greet the audience who are watching the show on the live broadcast by the Villa Media Entertainment. We hope you are going to enjoy the show. Thank you everyone for joining us today. You're all amazing and we truly appreciate your support. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's begin. And the first model to join us today is Mr. SL USA 2022, Malachi Alexander Emerald Sins. Mr. SL USA says, the reason I joined the Mr. SL 2022 competition is because I enjoy runway modeling and I want to push myself to be better in the fashion industry in Second Life. Every year I grow and learn new things. I love to show people what I can come up with under the pressure of challenges, and most of all, I joined the competition to have fun. Hello, Mr. SL USA. Jacques will ask your question. Oh wait, I do this first. Huh? Mr. SL USA is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes by Guild, and a hat by PXD Toxic CG, completing his ensemble. And then there we have already, Jacques is asking the question from Mr. SL USA, and she is asking, my question is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? Thank you, Mr. SL USA. And the next to join us is Mr. SL UK 2022, Steve Berner. Mr. SL UK joins this competition to be inspired by experienced fashionistas and hands-on runway mentors, which would help him to find the finest chic elements and elegant touches to harmonize with this fashionable virtual world. This helps him to reflect on who he is as we animate this mesh on our screens. The amount of creativity and richness in these challenges helps to quicken him to create more remarkable attire to wear. Taking part in a competition like this would open many doors for him to meet new people and explore new opportunities in the fashion community. Mr. SL UK is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, with shoes and socks by Native Urban, glasses by Balaclava, a bag by David Heather, a necklace, bracelet and rings by Real Evil Industries, and a watch by Kunst, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL UK. Krito Masaskat Galtier is going to ask your question. And this is Krito's question. One of the things expected of Mr. SL is to be an icon in the fashion community and be engaged. Engagement is important as it transforms a title or role into a personalized level. It humanizes the position. Tell us what sort of engagement you foresee doing if you were selected as Mr. SL 2022 that would transform a mere title, which are just words, into a meaningful role that reflects who you and the organization are. Thank you, Mr. SL UK. And the next to join us is Mr. SL South Korea 2022, Hasu Fenrisalfa. Mr. SL South Korea says, my participation in the Mr. SL 2022 competition is important to value my particular style and my photographic talent. At the same time, I'm a good quality model, able to mix male and female styles, using various accessories for my outfits and possible imaginary fashion styles. Mr. SL South Korea is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Edge, with photos by TRS modified with his own photos, a South Korea flag pin by Cuts, shoes by Deadwool, a watch by Felina Creations, and a camera by Vinyl, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL South Korea. Ocean Black Sun is going to ask your question. And this is Ocean's question. Hello, Mr. SL South Korea. Imagine you have the whole day free to yourself. There are no Second Life work, no challenges to prepare, no commitments to attend. You are free. You logged into Second Life. How are you going to spend your day in Second Life? Thank you, Mr. SL South Korea. And joining us next is Mr. SL Russia 2022, Sadi Christopher Seed Wolf. Mr. SL Russia says, there is a strength that grows within yourself that you didn't think was there in the beginning. The challenges, stress, struggle is what makes it all worthwhile in the end. We ask ourselves why we put ourselves through these things. Well, for me, it was to better understand what I'm capable of deep inside. We grow from the experiences learned and knowledge gained, and putting it forward to helping others that wish to follow the same path and have the same dreams. This is why I joined the Mr. SL 2022 competition. Mr. SL Russia is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes by La Pointe and Westchild, a cap by Deadwool, glasses by Goss, a watch by La Grey, a necklace by Ciel Blue, and dogs by Restroom, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Russia. Nida Nirvana is going to ask you a question. And this is Nida's question. Hello, Mr. SL Russia. My question is, loyalty is an important and big word in Second Life. What does it mean to you, and why? Thank you, Mr. SL Russia. And the next to join us is Mr. SL Philippines 2022, Joy Forsey. Mr. SL Philippines says, I joined the Mr. SL 2022 competition for 3 main reasons. First, it has been a dream of mine to be on this stage, as I consider the Mr. SL organization as the most prestigious organization in Second Life. Second, out of curiosity as to how such an amazing production is organized, me being involved in TV production in real life, I wanted to learn and somehow be a part of such a major production, and lastly, third, to gain exposure to the industry and to use and push my limits in creativity and bring a new meaning to my Second Life. Mr. SL Philippines is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes also by Cold Ash, a hat by Bondi, sunglasses by E-Storm, a watch by Marked, a ring by On a Lark, and earrings by Archive Faction, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Philippines. Tadeo Gardner is going to ask you a question. And this is Tadeo's question. Greetings, Mr. SL Philippines. My question is, you know that as Mr., you are the ambassador of the country you represent, and on the catwalks you not only represent your identity, but you carry a nation with you. How would you describe your nation's current scenario to all of us? Thank you, Mr. SL Philippines. And joining us now is Mr. SL Mexico 2022, Preston Crowley Numbers. Mr. SL Mexico says, I'm in the Mr. SL 2022 competition because I want to prove myself. I want to prove to myself that I can challenge myself to new levels and come out of my comfort zone. I want to pave the way for new ideas and prove to myself that I can do more than I put my mind to. Mr. SL Mexico is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and Ed's shoes by La Pointe and Basschild, sunglasses by Moncada Paris, a watch by Kunst, rings and earrings by Markt, and a bag by PM, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Mexico. Bear Star is going to ask you a question. And this is Bear's question. Hello, Mr. SL Mexico. My question for you today is, let's imagine you are at the end of your life and you are being presented with an award for something you have achieved for the greater good, which you have accomplished unselfishly too. What would this award be, and what would your thank you speech for it be? Thank you, Mr. SL Mexico. And the next to join us is Mr. SL Italy 2022, Zipsen. Mr. SL Italy says, when they asked me why I wanted to join the Mr. SL 2022 competition, many different thoughts came to my mind. The Second Life metaverse really is one of the greatest creative platforms imaginable. It took a lot of years and dedication, but I have become quite an icon in the community and gathered a large following. Not only am I passionate about fashion in Second Life, but the amazing designers behind it all. My goal is to master Second Life as a whole and experience all the different endeavors it has to offer. I think the Mr. SL 2022 title is a direct representation of that. Mr. SL Italy is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and Ed's shoes by Toxic, a jacket by EK, earrings by Eclipse Art Studio, a cigarette, ring and bracelet by Dope and Mercy, a tattoo by Corazon, and a kiss on his cheek by Theodora, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Italy. Kronos Darkness is asking your question. And this is Kronos' question. Hello Zipzin, my question is, in the modeling world, models are often labeled in their most favorite category, like there are the more casual models, the formal models, or any other theme out there they are the best in. Where do you see yourself regarding a category theme you think is your favorite and why? Thank you, Mr. SL Italy. And please welcome to the runway, Mr. SL Ireland 2022, Dresden, Olson, Coeur Blanc. Mr. SL Ireland says, I'm proud to be in the Mr. SL 2022 competition as the Mr. SL organization continues to be highly respected and sought after. From aspiring model to fashion brand partner and everyone in between. I have had so much fun in the styling challenges and in creating friendships with my fellow competitors. If I'm named Mr. SL 2022, I will have the privilege of bolstering the Miss SL organization's presence in Second Life and supporting charitable entities that are so deserving and in need of our help. Mr. SL Ireland is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, an Edge shoes by Minimal, a brooch by the Half Moon Market, earrings and palisade by Vex, and rings by Zoom, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Ireland. Takuya Jin is going to ask you a question. And this is Takuya's question. What is the biggest challenge that you face today? Thank you, Mr. SL Ireland. And please welcome to our stage Mr. SL Germany 2022, Tim Aeterna Mercury. Mr. SL Germany says, "My friends told me to join, and thanks to their encouragement, I'd even join a competition by myself now. I've grown more confident during the competition, and it has made me step out of my comfort zone. I love doing the different styles and posing them. It makes me want to inspire others to be proud of themselves for their originality. Every challenge is tough for me, because I'm an introverted, shy guy. Yet, this competition makes me feel more normal and alive, and helps me to communicate with others. I'm here to be a better version of me." Mr. SL Germany is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Coldash, and adds shoes by Lapointe and Buschild, earrings by Mea Tenebra and Rar, bracelet by Real Evil Industries, rings by Legal Insanity, a necklace by Mietner, and a watch by Zoom, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Germany. Alfred James is going to ask your question. And this is Alfred James' question. Hi, Mr. SL Germany. What are the roots that you have shaped your fashion style and your modeling style? Thank you, Mr. SL Germany. And the next to join us on the runway is Mr. SL France 2022, Catalino Carzin Dunham. Mr. SL France says, It was September 2017 and I just graduated from modeling school when I did my first ever competition in SL, Mr. SL 2018. I was insecure and still a noob in the modeling world, but after all it was an amazing experience. I love it, and so after a few years I decided to come back to Mr. SL to challenge myself and notice if I changed or not. What more can I say? I just needed to do this experience again and would love to do it over and over. Mr. SL France is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and add shoes by Caligula Fashion, glasses by Valmore, a bracelet by Meva, rings by Lemporio and PL, piercings by Archive Faction, Rainer and Mea Tenebra, and a tattoo by Dapper, completing his ensemble. Hello Mr. SL France. Cerberus Crossing is going to ask you a question. And this is Cerberus' question. Hello, Mr. SL France 2022. My question for you is, if there was a style, fashion that was heavily underrepresented in Second Life, what would it be, and can you describe it? Thank you, Mr. SL France. And the next model joining us is Mr. SL China 2022 Docs. Mr. SL China entered the Mr. SL competition this year because, as with previous years, he has been in it and he wanted to push his styling skills to another level and challenge himself with both styling and modeling abilities on the runway. He loves doing the challenges as they are very fun for him, and meeting the other candidates is another reason he likes to be in Mr. SL, as he often makes new friends that way. It is a learning and growing experience always to participate, and he hopes this year to live up to the title. Mr. SL China is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes by David Heather, ears by Pumic, and jewelry by Real Evil Industries, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL China. Your question is going to be asked by Xuru. this is Xuro's question. Hello, Mr. SL China. My question is, many have others to inspire them, but how do you inspire others? Tell us of one point in your second life that you have inspired someone. Thank you, Mr. SL China. And joining us on the runway now is Mr. SL Bulgaria 2022, Arce. Mr. SL Bulgaria says, I heard about the Mr. SL 2022 competition and thought it would be an amazing experience and opportunity for me, since I have never been part of the modeling industry before. Being new to Second Life, I thought it would be a great way to grow and learn in this field among incredible creators and organizers. Being competitive in life has made me a better person and inspired me to do the hard work and dedication in all aspects. Tunneling my whole vision of my performance has made me learn to value my surroundings and be adaptive, pushing myself to improve further with each challenge. Mr. SL Bulgaria is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes and a watch by Deadwool, bracelets by Real Evil Industries, rings by On Alark and Lemporio NPL, earrings by Vex, a rose by Mesh Plants, and a puppy by Gian, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Bulgaria. Moonling is going to ask you a question. And this is Moon's question. Hello, Mr. SL Bulgaria. My question for you is, what makes you stand out among other guys competing today? Thank you, Mr. SL Bulgaria. The next to join us on the stage is Mr. SL Belgium 2022, Aragon Zeline. Mr. SL Belgium says, I believe that pageantry can be a doorway for those who desire a stage presence, and also it can be a way to give back to the fashion community while learning more about oneself. I entered the Mr. SL 2022 competition not only to grow in my modeling abilities and skills, but also to learn more about my own personality, strengths and weaknesses. I aspire to help others and to be a role model for those that would like to enter modeling. I would enjoy being Mr. SL and would pledge to give myself 100% to this title. Mr. SL Belgium is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants, sponsored by Cold Ash, with a hat and scarf sponsored by .B Fashion. He adds shoes by Deadwool, a necklace by Revox, a watch by Spotcat, and a bracelet by Cold Ash, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Belgium. Hikaru Animal Lefebvre is going to ask you a question. And this is Hikaru's question. Hello, Mr. SL Belgium. Has your personal interaction taken a backseat because of social networks? Thank you, Mr. SL Belgium. The next model joining us today is Mr. SL Austria 2022 Wyatt. Mr. SL Austria says, when auditions for the Mr. SL 2022 competition were posted, I wasn't going to do the auditions. But thinking back on how much fun I had doing it last year, I decided to enter. I felt that over the course of the year, I have grown as a model and gained some new experiences in the modeling world, and I wanted to show that. I also want to have a positive impact in Second Life. Not just that, but have a positive experience too. Mr. SL does that for me. It motivates me. Mr. SL Austria is wearing the Raphael shirt and Alessio pants, sponsored by Cold Ash, and adds shoes also by Cold Ash, a hat and hair by Modulus, glasses by Deep Static, a ring by Lumines, earrings by Mesh Mafia, a watch by Real Evil Industries, and a tie clip by Royal Jewelers, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Austria. Jacques is going to ask you a question. And this is Jacques' question. Hello, Mr. SL Austria. Tell me something that will make me remember you. Thank you, Mr. SL Austria. And please welcome Mr. SL Argentina 2022, Daniel Salvatore Salvetti on the runway. Mr. SL Argentina says, I joined this competition because I do believe in the responsibility and opportunity to help and inspire others being the next Mr. SL and the coming generations, because with great power comes great responsibility. It is embedded in my psyche that I must consistently be responsible for demonstrating a dedicated effort of improving in everything that I set forth and be a better person, with the emphasis of inspiring others. I want to be a positive example where being humble and true to oneself is the key to creating and being part of the history of this honorable competition. Mr. SL Argentina has incorporated two colors into his outfit that symbolize his country. The white and light blue represent the sky, and to show his pride of being a real-life Argentinian, he has accented the lapel of his shirt with a brooch, which he retextured himself with the colors of Argentina's flag. He is wearing the Raphael shirt with the Alessio pants sponsored by Cold Ash. He had shoes by David Heather, and a bracelet, rings and earring by Marked, completing his ensemble. Hello, Mr. SL Argentina. Cerberus Crossing is going to ask your question. And this is Cerberus' question. Hello, Mr. SL Argentina. My question for you is, if you were sitting here as a judge, what would you want to see in a model, respectively an outfit? Thank you, Mr. SL Argentina. And those were all of the official finalists in the Mr. SL 2022 competition. In just a few moments we will receive the finalists back to the front and learn their answers they have for the questions they have received from the judges. And the first to join us again is Mr. SL USA 2022 Malachi Alexander Emerald Sins. Welcome back, Mr. SL USA. Your question was asked by Jacques, and Jacques wanted to know, my question is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? Mr. SL USA, how is your answer to Jacques' question? And Mr. SL USA is answering, thank you, Jacques, for your question. Your question for me was, if I could change one thing about myself, what would it be and why? I will admit, the one thing I would change about myself is my confidence. I would change that because I should be proud of what I have done and for what I'm able to do. But I always second-guess myself. Most of the time, I don't even see that I'm talented. I don't see that I'm just as capable of doing things just as well as others can. That if I put my mind to it and believe in myself and my abilities, that I can do it. It is something I continue to work on and grow from. Thank you again for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL USA. And the next is Mr. SL UK 2022 Steve Werner. Hello again, Mr. SL UK. Your question was asked by Krito Master Sculptier, and Krito wanted to know, one of the things expected of Mr. SL is to be an icon in the fashion community and to be engaged. Engagement is important as it transforms a title or a role into a personalized level. It humanizes the position. Tell us what sort of engagement you foresee doing if you were selected as Mr. SL 2022 that would transform a mere title, which are just words, into a meaningful role that reflects who you and the organization are. How is your answer to Krito's question, Mr. SL UK? And this is Mr. SL UK's answer. My role would increase as I would be much more knowledgeable about fashion and being recognized as a model with a vision and style. Thus facilitating my task with experience gained from the runway and challenges. Being Mr. SL 2022 would give me more credibilities to my audiences and raise my credentials to all known brands targeting fashion in here. And the Mr. SL organization has laid the first brick in the foundation for my goals. I'm always working on improving my looks and helping others in my passion. Helping others to style their own personal and unique looks, along with making YouTube videos talking about events and fashion related topics. Thanks again for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL UK. And next up is Mr. SL South Korea 2022, Hasu Fenrisalfa. Hello again, Mr. SL South Korea. Your question was asked by Ocean Blackthorn, and he wanted to know, you have the whole day free to yourself. There are no SL work, no challenges to prepare, no commitments to attend, and you are free. You're logged into Second Life. How you are going to spend your day in Second Life? What is your answer to Ocean's question, Mr. SL South Korea? This is Mr. SL South Korea's answer. Thank you, Ocean. For me, the best way I can think of spending a day off without having to worry about anything bothering me would be to have a relaxing time in nature with animals, especially in the company of my loved ones. I love to be in a very zen, calm atmosphere. Thank you again for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL South Korea. And please welcome back to the runway, Mr. SL Russia 2022, Sadi Christopher Seed Wolf. Hello again, Mr. SL Russia. Your question was asked by Nida Nirvana, and Nida wanted to know, loyalty is an important and big word in Second Life. What does it mean to you and why? Mr. SL Russia, how is your answer to Nida's question? This is Mr. SL Russia's answer. Hello again, Nida. Loyalty to me within Second Life is being true to yourself, your friends and family. To be open, honest and communicate with one another. Loyalty goes a long way, not just here within Second Life, but in our everyday lives as well. We as a family and friend depend on one another for guidance, strength and an overall person to look up to. This goes for people you work with as well, not just leaving it strictly to friends and family, but even those we may struggle with in general. Loyalty to me is so important because without it there is nothing to grow from. No trust, no communication and no respect. Thank you, Nida, for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL Russia. Now coming back onto stage is Mr. SL Philippines 2022, Joey Forsey. Hello again, Mr. SL Philippines. Tadeo Gardner has asked your question and he wanted to know, you know that as a Mr. you are the ambassador of the country you represent, and on the catwalks you not only represent your identity but you carry a nation with you. How would you describe your nation's current scenario to all of us? How is your answer to Tadeo's question, Mr. SL Philippines? And this is Mr. SL Philippines' answer. Hello and good day, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, and most especially to our very distinct panel of the Mr. SL 2022 judges. The current situation of the Philippines right now is pretty much similar to the rest of the world, and that is recovering from the pandemic and trying to get back to normal life. As an ambassador of the country in Second Life, I bring hope and pride for my country that we all can look forward to. And Second Life is definitely a great and limitless metaverse or virtual medium for that hope for a better and safer future worldwide. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. SL Philippines. And our next candidate is Mr. SL Mexico 2022, Preston Crowley Numbers. Hello again, Mr. SL Mexico. Your question was asked by Bear Star, and he wanted to know, let's imagine you are at the end of your life and you are being presented with an award for something you have achieved for the greater good, which you have accomplished unselfishly too. What would this award be, and what would your thank you speech for it be? Mr. SL Mexico, how is your answer to Bear's question? And this is Mr. SL Mexico's answer. My speech would be quite simple, thanking everyone for their time, and at the end of life, just letting them know the utmost gratitude for receiving the award. The award is simple, just a showcase of hard-earned work from over the years, and showing that life was not just wasted. In addition to the speech, I would thank all of my sponsors and life influencers that got me to this point and were there through some of life's incredible challenges. Thank you again for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL Mexico. And please welcome back on the stage Mr. SL Italy 2022, Zipsin. Hello again, Mr. SL Italy. Your question was asked by Kronos Darkness, and Kronos wanted to know, in the modeling world, models are often labeled into their most favorite category, like there are more casual models, the formal models, or any other theme out there they are the best in. Where do you see yourself regarding a category or theme you think is your favorite, and why? How is your answer to Kronos' question, Mr. SL Italy? And this is Mr. SL Italy's answer. Hello once again, everyone. Kronos, I had to think about this question for a moment, as there are so many different fashions that I love. As much as goth and alternative is my favorite, I seem to have an uncanny ability to adapt to anything without losing my individuality. Sometimes it surprises people. I like to step outside my comfort zone to see what I'm capable of and add my own unique flair to it. Thank you, Mr. SL Italy. And welcome once again, Mr. SL Ireland 2022, Dresden, Olson, Coeur-Blanc. Hello again, Mr. SL Ireland. Your question was asked by Takuya Jin, and Takuya wanted to know, what is the biggest challenge that you face today? How is your answer to Takuya's question, Mr. SL Ireland? And Mr. SL Ireland answers, hello again, Takuya. To answer your question, the biggest challenge that I face today is time. I'm highly engaged in both my real life and my second life. I've always enjoyed not just being busy, but more importantly, being immersed in whatever I choose to do with my time. While I'm imperfect, I do strive to improve that balance day after day, week after week, and so on. Knowing where I can have the biggest impact brings me the greatest joy, and being clear about that have helped me tremendously in working towards achieving the right balance. Thanks again for your question. Thank you, Mr. SL Ireland. And please welcome back on the stage Mr. SL Germany 2022, Tim Aeterna Mercury. Hello, Mr. SL Germany. Alfred James has asked your question and he wanted to know what are the roots that have shaped your fashion style and your modeling style. How is your answer to Alfred James' question, Mr. SL Germany? And Mr. SL Germany answers, "Hello again, Alfred. Hello again, everyone. Honestly, I have no roots. My roots are on fire. Jokes aside, my fashion style changes according to my mood, especially if there is a good tune playing in the background. I tend to add a mix of gothic elements with light tones when possible. Thanks to the Mr. SL competition, my scope for fashion has widened, and I do not identify with one style and can make any style with my own signature. Thanks again for your question, and I hope you enjoy the show." Thank you, Mr. SL Germany. And please welcome back Mr. SL France 2022 Catalino Karzin Dunham. Mr. SL France, Severus Crossing has asked your question and he wanted to know if there was a style fashion that was heavily underrepresented in Second Life, what would it be and can you describe it? Mr. SL France, how is your answer to Severus' question? And Mr. SL France answers, "Merci Severus for your question. This is really a super interesting one for me. As everyone knows, Second Life is made to realize your fantasies, but sometimes we just find the same clothes or accessories, the same shirt in different stores, the same sunglasses and so on. I would like to see fashion open-minded in the future, for example women's clothes also for men, like a gown that fits for every man's bodies, and so yes, my wish of being a prince with a big gown like Sleeping Beauty will come true." Thank you, Mr. SL France. And next up is Mr. SL China 2022 Docs. Hello again, Mr. SL China. Your question was asked by Xuro and he wanted to know, many have others to inspire them, but how do you inspire others? Tell us of one point in your second life that you have inspired someone. Hello, Miss SL China. How is your answer to Xuru's question? And this is Mr. SL China's answer. Thank you, Xuru, for your question. I recall a particular time when I inspired someone else. This person was an aspiring male model who reached out to me because he had been watching me in a Mr. SL pageant, and he also was following my fashion blog. He told me that he was inspired by the way I would do avant-garde styles, and that it made him feel like being more artistic and bold with his stylings, rather than always being so casual as he had been previously. He also said he admired the way I play with androgyny in my styles for my blog, and that it made him less afraid to experiment in Second Life with makeup and wearing hairs that weren't designed for men. I will never forget what he said. It really touched my heart and gave me motivation to keep doing what I was doing. Thank you, Mr. SL China. And please welcome back to the runway, Mr. SL Bulgaria 2022 answer. Hello again, Mr. SL Bulgaria. Moonling did ask your question, and she wanted to know, my question for you is, what makes you stand out among other guys competing today? Mr. SL Bulgaria, how is your answer to Moon's question? And this is Mr. SL Bulgaria's answer. Amazing to see you all again, and my answer for Moon lovely question is, seeing how much I have genuinely improved composing incredible poses and modeling in general, that I have embraced love fully, selflessly and unconditionally, and with it I can overcome anything. Thank you, Mr. SL Bulgaria. And please welcome back on the stage Mr. SL Belgium 2022, Aragon Zilline. Mr. SL Belgium, your question was asked by Hikaru Animal Lefebvre, and he wanted to know, has your personal interaction taken a back seat because of social networks? Mr. SL Belgium, how is your answer to Hikaru's question? and Mr. SL Belgium's answer is: personal interaction does not take a backseat because of the social networks to me, because I'm a human and I like personal interaction. Just as animals form packs and herds as an instinct for survival, people require an emotional connection to thrive socially, emotionally and intimately. However, advancement in technology, especially over the last years, has significantly affected how we communicate. Social networks have become a great help because of the COVID pandemic. It allowed us to keep in touch with our close family and friends. But I feel it is much harder to have empathy or feel the real emotions when you are not face to face with them. Even though video calls help a bit, you cannot give a hug or a real shoulder when needed. So I tried to keep my interaction personal as far as COVID let it, with my closest friends. However, social media can connect us with almost anyone globally. Thank you, and I hope this answers your question, Mr. Hikaru and judges panel. Thank you, Mr. SL Belgium. And the next finalist is Mr. SL Austria 2022, Wyatt. Hello again, Mr. SL Austria. Jacques asked you a question, and Jacques wanted to know, tell me something that will make me remember you. Mr. SL Austria, how's your answer to Jacques' question? This is Mr. SL Austria's answer. Thank you again, Jacques, for the question. I would like to hope that I'm remembered for my kindness, my hard work and humor here in Second Life. As for modeling, I hope you would remember me for my continuous improvement over the course of this competition and my willingness to look outside the box and try new things. Also, to quote Buffy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, my keen fashion sense. Thank you, Mr. SL Austria. And please welcome back Mr. SL Argentina 2022, Daniel Salvatore Salvetti. again, Mr. SL Argentina. Your question was asked by Severus, and he wanted to know, if you were sitting here as a judge, what would you want to see in a model or outfit? Mr. SL Argentina, how is your answer to Severus' question? And this is the answer from Mr. SL Argentina. Good morning, afternoon, evening, distinguished judges, Second Life Media, staff of Mr. SL, and honorable guests. My name is Daniel Salvatore Salvetti, and I proudly represent the country of Argentina. Answering your kind question, if I were a judge, I would like to see someone who knows how to show at the best what he is wearing through his poses and style, to twist it with own personality, to perhaps surprise audience and judge with the excellence and the responsibility that carries representing a brand in this honorable competition. That beyond looking good, represent what they were, and that through his style and energy will inspire people. Thank you for your question, Severus. I do appreciate it as your kind attention, distinguished judges, media, staff, and honorable guests. Thank you, Mr. SL Argentina. We again want to take a moment to let our sponsors know how grateful we are for their trust and support. Our sponsors and media partner for the Mr. SL 2022 competition are Altered State, Angel Manor Estate, Chop Suey Couture Jewelry, Die Villa Media Entertainment, Gabriel Fashion and Accessories, Leon Magazine SL, Lucid Region, Move to What Moves You, Models Magazine, Moondance Boutique, Preferred Land, The Grove Country Club Estates, and Wipely, the social network for virtual worlds. We thank Takuya Jin from Gabriel Fashion and Accessories again for providing us with the land for today's venue, and Ash Sloan from Cold Ash and the Leon Magazine SL Management for providing the outfit for our finalists today. We are also grateful for the support from Wipely, the social network for virtual worlds, for our event today. We also thank Die Villa Media Entertainment for providing the live broadcast on YouTube and Twitch, and Mr. SL Czech Republic 2018 Wasabi, resident photographer for events by Mrs. L organization, for his support. And a huge thank you to our judges, who are Alfred James, Bear Star, Cerberus Crossing, Rito Master Sculptier, Hikaru Animo Lefebvre, Jacques, Chronos Darkness, Moonling, Nida Nirvana, Ocean Blackthorn, Tadeo Gardner, Takuya Jin, and Xuro. We would also like to send out a thank you to our runway director, Rissa Bolissima, for her invaluable support this week and for coordinating backstage, and to the MissSL organization mentors for sharing their knowledge and expertise with our candidates. Our deepest gratitude we express towards Venom Zanzibar for being our chat host today, guiding us through this finalist presentation. And of course, a very special thank you to all of you who attended this finalist presentation for the Mr. SL 2022 competition. I'm Markus Lefebvre-Enimo, your voice host and DJ for this challenge. On behalf of the chat host, Venom Zanzibar, and in my capacity as the owner of the MissSL organization, it was a pleasure and honor to have all of you here today. We hope to see you again at the grand finale of the Mr. SL 2022 competition on Saturday, December 11th at 10 AM SLT.